Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to also participate in this moment that I consider a very important moment in contributing to this bill that is before us. And let me begin by saying that indeed I feel privileged that this is the second time that I happen to be a member of Parliament when we are actually amending the Constitution. And I want to say I was actively involved prior to the 2010 Constitution in the clamor for a new Constitution. And many lives were lost. Many lives were lost. And Mr. Speaker, I'll never forget the number of times we went to the streets of this city and in many other towns in this country trying to push for a new Constitution. And one of the biggest things that really drove us to do that was to make sure we had a Constitution that treated all Kenyans equally. A Constitution that gives freedoms and rights to the people of Kenya. A Constitution that ensured that this Kenya belonged to everybody. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I consider any effort to review the 2010 Constitution as a very important process, a sacred process, a process that should not be seen to be taking away any gain that we fought for in the 2010 Constitution. If it does so, even in the smallest way, it becomes a real threat to the future of this nation. Mr. Speaker, the Independence Constitution was amended well over 29 times. And in each single amendment, Mr. Speaker, it took away from the people and gave more power to the executive. It became such a distorted document until the final document could not even be compared to the first document. And I would hate, personally, as a member of this House, to be one of those that played a role in changing a constitution and taking away whatever gains the citizens of Kenya had gotten out of the 2010 Constitution. And therefore, I'm listening to some very good things being said about this bill. And there are some very good things in this bill. But I want to tell this House that there are some very dangerous amendments in this bill that we are moving to amend the 2010 Constitution that will become a real issue many years down the line. And we had hoped that we had created a constitution that will pass the test of time. We had hoped that we will not have people wanting to do what those others had done to the Independence Constitution by wanting to give themselves power at the expense of Mwananchi or at the expense of Kenyans. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, one of the things I'm asking myself is just how important are these amendments? First of all, at a time when Kenyans are expecting that we should be more sensitive to the real issues affecting them, one of them being the corona pandemic and the impact it has had on the citizenry. Today, many Kenyans have lost their jobs. Today, many Kenyans do not even know where to earn a living. Today, many Kenyans cannot access the vaccine. But all of us in this House have been vaccinated, Mr. Speaker. So for me, I worry about that. But let me move on, Mr. Speaker, to speak about the real issue today. Mr. Speaker, can the leader of majority just let me contribute without interrupting me?
It's a point of order. Leader of majority.
Honorable Speaker, I did not intend to interrupt any member.
Let me have my chance.
Of course, this is a constitutional moment. But the Honorable nominated member, Cecily, has just made a very serious allegation that there are some dangerous provisions that are contained within this bill. Does not go ahead to tell us which are these dangerous provisions in this bill and proceed